pitch. Is Luke towards shortstop. Petroselli's back. He's got it. The Red Sox win. That is pandemonium on the field.
Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, brought to you each week by the National Sports Collectors Convention. Join us every Wednesday evening at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and get the latest news from the greatest experts in the sports collectibles world. You can watch us on the Great American Collectibles Facebook page, as well as YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. And now your hosts, award-winning sports collectibles author Tom Zappola and Boston radio personality Lou Blasi.
Okay, boys, how are you? How are you? Joe,
Good,
what is that? Is that a Golden Auctions hat I see?
That is a Golden Auctions hat.
You know, you gave me one. Remember? You gave me one.
I did, and you lost it.
I sold it.
It's the best purchase I ever made.
Right? I sold it to Calvin. Is that okay?
Calvin, did you pay strong?
You know I paid strong.
Calvin Arnold from REA Auctions, our good friend Joe Tomasulo from Golden Auctions. Lou Blasi's in the house. Now, we had a couple of program changes, and I'm going to be honest with our audience here. Joe bailed our asses out 10 minutes ago because we had Chuck and Stacy scheduled for today, but they got caught up. So I called Joe. Joe was in the shower 15 minutes ago, in the shower. And I asked him, I said, Joe, you need to get out of the shower, dry up, and get on camera with us. And here he is, Joe. And I can't thank you enough.
Tom, my pleasure.
Really?
There were profanities involved. I'll just say that.
Yeah, just a few. We're going to be all over the place today.
I only joined because Calvin's on.
That's right. Calvin's a great guy.
There you go.
Well, you know, I some accolades from both of you, I think, are justified. Discussing the sandwiches that Ellen and I brought to both of you guys at the Wilmington show.
Incredible.
Joe, you can go first, or Calvin, feel free. How were they?
Amazing.
Good,
Yeah,
good, right?
simply amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so for our Boston fans, Greater Merrimack Valley fans that are listening, and there are quite a few, go to LeConte's Deli in Methuen, Mass. Lou's been there a couple of times. Louis, right?
Oh,
A
yeah.
couple of times you've been there.
You have to.
They're fabulous. And now there was another deli. Joe, I think I took you to Borelli's once,
You did, Tom.
but LeConte's are better than Borelli's. I think Borelli's has gone down just a bit, a bit. So anyway,
Deli worth making a trip. There aren't too many of them, but that was one. That's one of them, LeConte's.
absolutely, no doubt, no doubt. All right,
Tom,
listen.
did you ever
ahead.
eat in Katz's Deli in the village? In the city?
No. What's the name of it?
Katz's Deli.
It's
Very
a Jewish
famous,
place.
Landmark Jewish.
Yeah,
place.
yeah, I've heard of it. I've never eaten there.
The pastrami on rye is like this thick. It's crazy.
I've eaten at 2J's in Florida. 2J's is pretty good. Actually, it's very good. Very good. All right. So listen, we're going to be all over the place today. We're going to be talking. REA has a big auction coming up. Joe, what's the auction situation with Golden? What do you got coming up?
Our next vintage auction will be starting in early January and ending. We're actually going to keep it open an extra week. It was supposed to end February 14th.
Yeah.
But ending an auction Saturday night on Valentine's Day is suicide. So Ken's pushing it back 1 week to the 21st.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and we're obviously we got like 5-6 weeks before the consignment deadline, so we're putting it together now. But
Now,
we
what
already
about you,
have some great pieces.
Calvin, all your consignments, the deadline's gone. Has it gone past? Are you still accepting
Oh yeah,
consignment?
the deadline's well past. The fall auction is going to go live November 21st, and it'll close December 7th. And we have over 3,200 lots of just incredible stuff.
Tom. There's a piece in there that I want.
It's got to be. I know what it is, Joe.
No, tell me what it is.
It's the 1954 Yogi Berra PSA 8 with the Type 1 photo that goes with it.
You know you want that, Joe.
I can see many bid retractions on that lot. No, Calvin, one of the pieces I love that's coming up in your auction is the beautiful signed Ted Williams rookie.
Wait a second.
Yeah,
How come
it's
he knows
absolutely
what's going to
incredible.
be in your auction? You said there was no preview.
Yeah.
How does he know?
Well, you know, Joe's a special friend of the REA team, so we allow him certain privileges. Now, actually, he was at the Boston show. We had it displayed out there, and Joe's absolutely right. I mean, the 39 Williams that's signed, fresh to the hobby.
It's beautiful.
Absolutely incredible. It's incredible. It's going to go for a lot of money.
All right, let's
it's
back
gonna
into
be
that.
big.
Let's back into that for a minute. You're saying fresh to the hobby.
Yep.
So that image or that picture wound up in your hands from a consignor that had been holding on to it for a lot of years?
Yeah, so we received it raw, and when we say fresh to the hobby, that means that it hasn't circulated through the auction cycles, through any of the auction houses. It came to us raw, we got it graded, and now it's going up for auction in the fall catalog. So,
You know, it's interesting. Joe, you and I have had a couple of discussions. Actually, I've had quite a few discussions with a lot of people in this hobby over the last couple of weeks. And, you know, we're in the process of you have to make the distinction about what a find is. That we're learning. And there are finds that are defined by the hobby, like the Uncle Jimmy find, the Black Swamp find, the Lucky 7 find,
Unopened 52 wax.
Yep.
an open 52 wax. Absolutely.
One of the
Those are
greatest finds ever.
finds. Those are finds. No, well, you know something? That's not true. That's not true, Joe. An unopened wax is not a find. It's not a find.
Why?
I'll tell you why. Because it exists. It's there. You didn't find it. Now, if you open it up and hear me out, if you open it up and you find a home run card in it, a Wagner or something, then that's a find. But how is that? Explain to me how that's a find.
Because anything
it was
that
previously unknown.
Right. We didn't know it
previously
existed.
unknown. I agree with Joe on this
Oh,
one.
All right, so hold
Yeah.
on. You're making my point because you didn't let me finish. We are distinguishing between two types of finds. There are the finds defined by the hobby, like I discussed, Uncle Jimmy, Black Swamp, Lucky 7.
Lucky
Then
7.
there are finds that are new to the hobby. They're totally different types of finds. Finds that are new to the hobby are what you're talking about, Joe. And people need to make that distinction. It's still a find, but it's not a find as defined by the hobby over the last 30 years.
Anything unearthed, recently found, to Calvin's point, that we didn't know previously existed.
Is
By the
a
way,
find.
I've been watching Gavin Newsom too much. I'm talking with my hands. Anything that yesterday we didn't think existed, and today it exists. Correct me if I'm wrong, Calvin.
You're wrong.
It's a find.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
It's a find that's new to the hobby. I'm not saying it's not a find, but it's not a quote true find as defined by the hobby. And I'll give you an example. The T206 Wagner, is that a find? I'm talking about the T206 Wagner that Ken Kendricks owns. Is that a find?
It was a find when Bill Mastro.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was not a find when Bill Mastro found it because Bill Mastro bought it from another auction house. And that auction house got it from someone.
Well,
So-
wherever he got it from.
That's the point. That's the point. So if it's new to the hobby, and you're saying that this unopened box is new to the hobby, yes, that's a find. But something like the T206 Wagner is not a find. It's a find. It was a find at the time that was new to the hobby. I think that's an important distinction that people need to
Okay.
make.
All right. I'll give you that, Tom.
Right?
I will.
Your Bryce Williams, your Bryce Williams collection that you saw? That was a beautiful collection. All right, that's really not a find, Joe. Do you agree with
I
me?
told you that. It's a consignment.
It's a consignment, but it was new to the hobby. It was new to the.
It wasn't new to the hobby.
At one time, it was. That's what I'm saying. At one
Right.
time, it wasn't that somebody found it in a wall in an attic. That's the point. That's the point. But anyway,
So I have
I
to
think
take
that
a
there's-
sledgehammer. I have to take a sledgehammer to my sheetrock to call something a true find.
and we're gonna continue this discussion as time goes on, and I have an ulterior motive as to why, but we won't talk about that.
You always do, Tom.
Calvin, let me ask you about the Williams card. Do you have any idea when the autograph was placed on the card? Because Ted Williams was an autograph factory later on.
Yeah.
Good
So,
point.
so is there any more
Yeah.
value to a more vintage autograph?
Oh, I think there's definitely more value to a vintage autograph. Playing days autograph is going to garner more money than something that was signed at a show, one after another. So this one, I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't think it was playing days. I think it was a little bit later. I'm not sure if it was done during his show days in the 80s. Could have been done in the 70s or something of that nature. But certainly it's one of a kind. I mean, it's going to be well sought after, and the eye appeal of it, as Joe might be able to attest to, the eye appeal is just off the charts.
Exceptional. What makes it special, Lou, and I agree with Calvin, the signature is probably 60s to 70s, somewhere
Oh, that's not
in
bad.
there, the style, but it's ballpoint, and ballpoint without skips is very tough.
It's bold. It's
Right.
very bold.
It's almost, it could present itself like a thin Sharpie. That's
I
how
was going to
bold
parse
it
it that
is.
way, whether it's a
All right,
ballpoint or a marker. I was going to parse it that way because the markers seem more recent, obviously.
Right. So in other words, if Ted signed that particular photo in a Sharpie, that would be a lot less valuable.
Well, Tom, it's his rookie card. It's not a
Yeah.
photo.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the rookie card. If he signed it in a Sharpie, it would be a lot less valuable than if he signed it in ink.
Not a lot less, but there is, Calvin, what, 10, 15% maybe premium?
Yeah, I think that Joe's correct. I mean, I don't think it's a lot less. I think the combination of the signature being on his rookie card, and it really comes back to population, right? I mean, population is going to determine highest combo grade of card, and signature is going to play a factor. Sharpie certainly is going to play a factor, and I think I agree with Joe. I mean, I think it's probably a 10%, 10%, discount potentially if you want to look at it that way. But I think it's the combination of, this coming fresh to the hobby, being on his rookie card, having incredible eye appeal, just all those kind of combinations of factors are going to lend to very aggressive bidding, I think.
Interesting. Hey, I want to ask the three of you this question. Game 7, World Series. In my opinion, possibly the greatest game of all time. Definitely the greatest in my opinion, greatest World Series game of all time. Greater than the Fisk home run game. What do you think, Louis? You can go first.
It'd be hard to argue. It would be really hard to argue. I haven't gone back and really looked into my memory, and God knows a game of all time. Who the hell knows? I haven't seen every game of all time, but that was just a magical game. It was so much fun to watch. You guys are going to laugh. I was in Mexico watching the game in Spanish, and there are all kinds of Canadian tourists there. It was like we were in Toronto at that point. It was a pretty wild experience, I got to tell you. What an amazing game. It was just so much fun. Ratings were off the charts. Major League Baseball is number 2 behind the NFL and in front of the NBA now. I mean, the numbers were amazing just in America without the second home American team. That's with the Canadian team without that market. The ratings are incredible. Just a fun game. If you love baseball like we do, how could you not enjoy that game?
I mean, there was so many twists and turns in that game. Joe, what do you think?
It's game 7, so I have to put it over the Fisk game. I think the drama of the Fisk game was greater.
I mean, just that one snapshot. Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
my God. And not just that. So there was a moment in that Fisk game, Tom, that people aren't aware of. In the bottom of the 8th, Bernie Carbo hit a 3-run
tied it
homer,
up. He tied it
we're
up.
aware of it.
and
Yeah.
Pete Rose was playing third. And as Carbo approached third, rounding third to complete his home run trot, Pete Rose yelled at Carbo, "Isn't this incredible?"
Yeah.
He goes, "Is
hell of a
this
game.
not baseball?" Like, Rose sounded excited. He just had a 3-run lead to give him a world championship, stripped right from underneath him, but he was caught in the moment of just a great baseball game. And that was just Pete Rose. And Carbo always told that story after the fact. And then the 12th inning home run, who was it all? Pat Darcy? If I remember right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was
yeah.
Pat Darcy. That game, to me, and the Kirk Gibson home run game,
That was a good one, too.
those two sit with me well. But because this was a Game 7, all the marbles for both teams on the line, Tom, I have to agree with you. It was a hard start.
Calvin.
Yeah, no, I echo the same sentiments. I mean, I think it was one of the most suspenseful Game 7s in recent memory. I mean, it's hard. We have a very long history of baseball, right? I mean, 100 plus years of baseball. So it's hard to say like it's the best, but like talk about drama and suspense and intrigue and keeping you completely glued to the TV. It certainly was a game for the ages.
Well, you know something? I spoke to Rico the next day, called Rico up. Ellen and I were up in Maine on vacation for the weekend. And I called, we came back on Sunday, and I called Rico up Sunday afternoon. I said, "What did you think?" I said, "I want you to really think about my question because we're going to talk about it when you come back on the show." He said, "Honestly," I said, I'm sorry. I said, "Compared to the game that you were in and you played in, the Fisk home run game, the words were not out of my mouth." And Rico said, "No comparison. This one tops them all." That's what he said. I mean, that's what his opinion was, which I kind of agree with. There
was no mishaps of things going on here. These were two dog teams going at it, and nobody gave in, and they all played hard. And it's admirable for both teams. It was just fun to watch both teams. I was kind of hoping the Dodgers were going to win anyway. But it didn't happen on a mishap. It didn't happen on a freak play. It just two dog teams just fighting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, listen, we're going to take a break. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, you have two incredible players in that series, too. Like, the face of baseball was playing in that series, Ohtani, who's arguably the modern-day Babe Ruth. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr., not for nothing. That kid is absolutely amazing. He's going to have
He's a beast.
Going to have a great career.
Well,
yes,
I want to, after the break, Joe, you can't leave because we have to pick up on something else regarding Yamamoto. I want to talk about Yamamoto.
I knew that was coming.
You are a pitching coach. You're a pitching coach. You've coached some major leaguers. You've coached college. You've coached high school. We're going to take a quick break. We come back. I want to get your thoughts on Yamamoto. Hang in there. Joe's here. Cal's here. Lou's here. And I'm here. We'll be right back.
I'm Rebecca Curry, a two-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free, integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
Let's go! Batter up!
Hi, everyone. This is Rico Petrocelli. JustCollect.com, a leader in the vintage sports card industry, is giving free appraisals on your vintage cards. They'll evaluate your collection for free and let you know the value of it at no cost and no obligation. If you're ready to sell, JustCollect.com will offer you industry-leading prices to buy your card collection. To begin your free baseball card appraisal, visit JustCollect.com or call them at 732-828-2261. That's JustCollect.com for your free vintage card appraisals and top buy prices for your cards. Check out JustCollect.com today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
With record-breaking sales from everything from the white border T206 Honus Wagner for $3.12 million to some great items that support the Jackie Robinson Foundation, Golden Auctions has set the highest standards for the finest in sports cards, autographs, and game-used memorabilia. We're always accepting consignments of high-end premium sports treasures or entire collections. Please register for our next auction and bid now at goldenauctions.com. That's golden with an I. We at Golden Auctions are committed to providing unsurpassed customer service for the discriminating collector. That's exactly why we're the leader in the industry. Visit goldenauctions.com or call 856-767-8550. Remember, Golden Auctions. We don't just break records, we shatter them.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Okay, we are back. Calvin Arnold from REA Auctions, Joe Tomasulo from Golden Auctions, friendly competitors. They actually arm wrestled at the Wilmington show. I saw them. I witnessed the arm wrestling. Calvin kicked Joe's ass because of Joe's age, of course. Hey, before we get into our little CJ moment.
This is where I sign off.
We'll talk about. Joe, you're a pitching coach. You've been very successful at it. What was your what's your take on Yamamoto's pitching performance over the course of the World Series? And how good is this kid?
Kid is great. I mean, can I talk in layman's terms?
Go ahead.
Balls of steel. I mean,
Really?
to literally to come off 90 to 100 pitch game, come in the next day, and look, he wasn't exceptionally sharp. He got some breaks, the catch in deep left center field. He walked on eggshells, but just the fact that he was in that game competing at a superior level is amazing. I remember Randy Johnson did it against the Yankees.
Yeah.
In the what was it, 2001? 2001 series.
Yep.
Look, it takes a special. You could teach grips and pitches and stuff like that, but it takes a very special individual to be able to, do what Yamamoto did. You can't teach that, guys. That's all heart and soul.
I think you have to have the mental aspect of it too.
Oh, I mean,
I agree with that, Calvin. You got to be mentally tough to do something like that. Louis, what was your take on that?
The thing that Joe brought up is what struck me during the course of the game is that we tend to think of Asian pitchers, Japanese pitchers, as being methodical and tactical and intelligent. But you watched both Ohtani and Yamamoto play in that game. They were invested in that game.
Yeah.
At the end, the scene at the end with the center field camera shot of him after the game closed out, I was really impressed by the emotional investment of those guys in that game.
And it was kind of poignant. It really was poignant. I don't know if the camera on Vlad Jr., he was like the last guy into the clubhouse when the game ended. Everybody was gone, and he was just there staring into the infield. Kid was really heartbroken. But
it's a shame
going back to Yamamoto though, really quick. I mean, not only is it the pitching aspect and the mental aspect, think about the trust that he was given by the Dodgers and by Dave Roberts to go in there in Game 7 after, like Joe said, he pitched 90 to 100 pitches, wasn't exactly sharp, but they trusted him enough to put him out there in one of the most crucial points of the game.
There's a great lesson learned from that game, which escapes baseball today, which is why I preferred baseball in the 70s, the 80s. Everything is black and white today. In other words, 100 pitches, get them out of there.
Yeah.
90. Yeah. I'm going to tell you something. As a pitching coach, you could be on 120 pitches and be in cruise control versus on 75 pitches and having to work out of a tough inning, every inning, escaping danger, leaving the bases loaded. It all depends on what quality, what workload you're putting into those pitches. And that guy was just on adrenaline. He was there.
I think the importance of that single game played into that as well, because if this is a game in April or a game in May, they're not going to run him back out there again. 7th game of the World Series, you run him back out there again. That's what you do. Because they've got hundreds of $millions invested in this pitcher, right?
It's, again, Lou, it's a lesson learned because here's the way I look at it. And I'll name some great pitchers, whether it's Gibson or Seaver or, or Yamamoto or Kershaw. And I'm going to go after the Toronto manager on this. Scherzer was taken out too early. Mm-hmm. They should have lengthened the game. Max Scherzer is a bulldog. He is a fighter, one of the top pitchers of the last 20 years, first ballot Hall of Famer, and he took him out before the end of the 5th inning. You got to let that guy extend the game at least another inning if possible. And here's the lesson. I'd rather have Max Scherzer a little tired at maybe 80%, 75, 80%, than a young middle reliever who doesn't have the experience at 100%.
Well, that's how it was with Schilling.
Who do you want to put? Who do you want to put the season's hands?
You're right. I agree with you, Joe. Louis, that's
Right.
how it was. It was like that with Schilling.
Yes.
It was the same thing.
And that escapes baseball today. Everything is done by the book.
In that decision in Game 7 or in the World Series, I understand that thinking, and you're right. He was yanked too early, and it's more than the pitcher tiring. It's third look through the order. It's that's an important thing because that's a big deal. Would you rather have a tired pitcher third time through the order? Would you rather have a fresh reliever going every batter getting a look at him once?
Well, I think that's where the mental. I think that's where the mental aspect comes in, Lou. Because not to disagree with you, but to kind of disagree with you. You have a young kid. You don't know mentally how he's going to handle that.
No, I agree. They didn't have the bullpen to rely that heavily on first look type of thing. And I don't know Scherzer's third look stats. I'm assuming they're like everybody else in baseball, which is
right.
But the bullpen wasn't there. That wasn't the quality of pitching.
Lou, let's put the Scherzer's third time in the order stats to the side for a second.
Mm-hmm.
What is Scherzer's third time around in the order stats with a season on the line after 20 years of professional experience?
But you're saying it's adrenaline. You're saying it's adrenaline.
And that's what Yamamoto was on. He was on
adrenaline.
Sheer adrenaline.
Calvin, what do you think?
I think Calvin agrees. In this instance, the equation of the bullpen it didn't.
I definitely agree. I mean, you have Max, who's got a 20-year career behind him. He knows how to navigate tough situations. You have to leave him in there at least through the fifth, and then evaluate him during the sixth. I agree with Joe. I love baseball from the 70s and 80s because, it was unadulterated, right? Like, there was no data, no spreadsheets that people were using, no this guy pitches best between this kind of pitch count. It was all about feel and letting a guy work through situations. Joe has a great point, and the point is that you know what? There's a difference between some guy going out there and flowing through 120 pitches as if it's nothing versus a guy struggling every single inning. And I think in this situation, with the game on the line and Scherzer being your most seasoned veteran, being a guy that is mentally tough, I think you got to leave him out there at least another inning.
You know something, Lou? I'm thinking back as you guys are talking. Calvin Schiraldi did that. Remember, in 2018, he came back after pitching, and I think he threw 7 or 8 innings. Remember, he came back into the game, and we thought he was going to have a dead arm, and he just sucked it up.
Well, let me put the opposing argument out here because Tom, you and I lived through it. Joe, you lived through it too as well. There's Grady Little and Pedro Martinez.
Lou, I was just going to bring that up.
Yep.
I never threw a stone at Grady Little. And actually, Martinez knocked the bat out of Posada's hands. It was a cheap. He got the ball in on him. He made the perfect pitch. And Posada got a break. He got a little sunk blue pit that tied the game up.
So he's disagreeing with you, Lou. He's saying
I understand.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting take, Joe, because I'm on board with Lou on that one. I mean, he was running on fumes, and he's not a big guy. To be honest with you, I think Grady Little made the right move. The wrong move was putting Tim Wakefield in. That was the wrong move.
Yeah, it was.
Well, see, that's part of the equation. What do you have to substitute for him? That's part.
You don't throw a knuckleballer in, though, man.
Lou, Tom, let's be honest. If Posada's ball, that little humpback sump that he hit, that's what it was.
I know, I agree.
If that ball falls in the shortstop or second baseman hands, Grady Little looks like a genius.
He's manager of the year.
But I'm just saying, the Martinez and the Sox got a bad break. I loved it. It was awesome. But he made the right pitch, and he should have gotten out of the jam.
All right. We're going to switch gears. Many of you remember that Ellen and I, along with Johnny Mallory and Joe Orlando, wrote a book called The Crackerjack Collection, Baseball's Prize Players. And we were very successful with that book. Actually, we won a Ben Franklin Silver Medal. So we got a call about a month ago from our book distributor that, lo and behold, we thought that they had sold out. They found
I didn't
four
think
cases.
the story was going to come out.
They found 4 cases in the warehouse. So we decided, Lou and I, years ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago, we used to do little vignettes on YouTube called Another Cracker Jack Moment. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be doing another Cracker Jack moment, and you can follow the link. The book is on sale because, quite honestly, we want to get rid of them. We've got about 4 cases, which is 12, about 50 books, let's say, 50 books left. So we're going to do another Cracker Jack moment. What we'll do is I'll pick one player every week. They're kind of really cool stories because the stories behind some of these guys was fantastic. So it's time for another Cracker Jack moment brought to you by our friend Paul Borges and PB Collectibles. Go to pbcollectibles.com for that special vintage card at an amazing price.
Tom,
Hey,
I want to ask.
Tom, is that considered a find?
No.
Okay.
No. Louis, do we have a little music going?
Yes.
Okay. This is about Larry Doyle, one of the best second basemen of the era. Laughing Larry Doyle could do it all. Known for his outgoing personality and happy disposition, he was well liked by manager John McGraw and his Giants teammates. The former coal miner was no standout when he first arrived in the major leagues, but McGraw stood by his highly paid rookie, giving him the opportunity to develop into an outstanding player. Doyle eventually became captain of the Giants and one of baseball's biggest stars, leading the National League in several offensive and defensive categories. Besides being on 3 pennant winners, as team captain, he led the National League with 172 hits in 1909 and 25 triples in 1911. Doyle's 184 hits and .330 batting average earned him the Chalmers Award, which was the National League MVP in 1912, and his trophy was a brand new Chalmers automobile. He won the batting title in 1915 with a sparkling .320 average and led the league in hits, singles, and doubles as well that year. At the height of his career, the second sacker was paid a salary of $8,000, which was almost as much as his famous roommate, Christy Mathewson. A shrewd businessman, Doyle dabbled in the stock market and in real estate and did quite well for himself. In 1913, he turned down a $27,000 contract from the Federal League out of loyalty to the National League. He was one of those players who did everything right. Doyle finished out his career as a player manager in the minors and retired in 1922. After his playing days, he worked in various capacities for the Giants. His coal mining background and heavy smoking caught up with Doyle in 1942 when he was diagnosed with tuberculosis. He was treated at the Saranac Lake, the same sanitarium that treated Christy Mathewson. Laughing Larry, however, had the last laugh. He fully recovered and lived to be 87 years old, even outliving the sanitarium. Larry Doyle was one heck of a player and surely warrants another look by Cooperstown. And that's another T206 moment.
All right, to take advantage of this fine, not fine, go to tomzappalamedia.com/crackerjack collection to order your copy of the Crackerjack Collection, Baseball's Prize Players. This great book will give you a glimpse into the personal and professional lives of the players in this iconic collection. That's the Crackerjack Collection, now on sale at 30% off the regular retail price. Go find it at tomzappalamedia.com/crackerjack collection.
Now, if you buy it on tomzappalamedia.com, we will sign it for you. I'd be happy to.
Nice.
Joe, what'd you think of Laughing Larry Doyle? He's a good ball player.
He's a very good ball player. And as Calvin will attest to, has one of the most famous cards in the hobby.
Yes,
Which
it does.
is?
Calvin, go ahead.
Go ahead, Joe. It's all you. I'm not going to steal your stage here.
The T206 Doyle variation.
Absolutely.
What are there, like 9 or 10 known, Calvin?
Yeah, there's only a handful. Very
Did you
small.
guys handle one, Cal?
We did. Yep.
Yeah, I
we
thought
sold
so.
that one, I believe, for $1.1 million.
Yep.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Hey, let's talk about, by the way, the Philly show's coming up December 12th through the 14th at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center in Oaks, celebrating 50 years of connecting collectors, athletes, and fans. Shop over 600 dealer tables across 150,000 square feet of sports cards, memorabilia, sealed product, collectibles, and an expanded Pokemon and TCG section, now with over 100 tables, from vintage favorites to the latest releases. Grading and authentication companies will be on site, along with the major sports auction houses for submissions, valuations, and appraisals. Kids under 10 are free. And don't miss our community trade nights happening Friday and Saturday evening. Open tables, great energy, and collectors trading with collectors all night long. Now, the autograph lineup, with more guests still to be announced. Meet current Philadelphia Eagles star Cooper DeJean, Reed Blankenship, and Brandon Graham. Philly stars and legends Cole Hamels, Larry Bowa, and Lenny Dykstra. Baseball Hall of Famers Vlad Guerrero Sr., Edgar Martinez, Eddie Murray, Tony Perez, Alan Trammell, and Dave Winfield. NBA Hall of Famers Dennis the Worm Rodman and Dominique the Human Highlight Real Wilkins. Jerome the Bus Bettis, and last but not least, the one and only Rico Petrocelli.
Nice.
He'll be meeting
Nice.
fans and signing autographs on Saturday, December 13th. And by the way, don't forget, the Great American Collectibles Show will be broadcasting on Saturday afternoon, right from the venue at the Philly show. You're going to be able to see Joe T. You're going to be there, Joe, right?
I will be there.
Joe T will be on camera. We're going to blow. You're going to be there, right, Calvin?
I'm not going to be there, but REA will be there.
And now will Brian be there?
Actually, Matt will be there.
Okay, Matt's out. Forget it.
Yeah.
No, we'll bring Matt on. We'll bring Matt on, but we're going to have a cast of characters. We're going to be broadcasting a 90-minute show, and with Rico and I, and our other guest host is the one and only Derek Grady from Heritage Auctions.
Nice.
So we're going to have some fun with that. But Joe will be with us too. All right. Yes.
I just wanted to, you were talking about the Cracker Jacks before, and
yeah,
I have a question for Calvin. Calvin, talking about fines, has there ever been an unopened 1415 Cracker Jack box found with an alleged card inside?
Ooh.
Not that I'm
No,
aware
right?
of. I mean,
Okay, I was
that
just
would
curious.
be just absolutely incredible.
Now that's a fine, Joe. That is a fine.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, that's a fine. You know, when we wrote that book, though, I'll tell you guys, when we wrote that book, there was she's now deceased. Her name was Margaret Joyce. And Margaret Joyce, I don't know if you guys know Andy Montero. Do you know Andy? Andy's a big CJ collector. Andy's a friend of ours. He's a vice president with the Miami Heat, but a huge Cracker Jack collector. Andy hooked us up with Margaret Joyce, who lived in upstate Florida. And so Ellen and I drove to her house because she allowed us to use some of her collection. Her Cracker Jack collection was astounding. 3 floors of Cracker Jack memorabilia from the Cracker Jack boxes. She had floors of stuff dating back to the very first Cracker Jack box. It was the most amazing collection of little trinkets and toys, and she had about 6 Cracker Jack cards. But we used a lot of those in the book for page breaks. And then we were invited to Mallory, myself, and Ellen were invited to the Cracker Jack convention.
Nice.
And we went to the Cracker Jack convention in Philadelphia, and you couldn't ask for nicer people. Really, really, really fun time. But it's a great collection. Cracker Jack, I don't think it gets the respect that the 33 Gowdy gets, Joe and Calvin.
I I disagree.
I don't know about that.
Well,
yeah,
It does.
I think
It
it's
does.
yeah.
So if you
And
had a, go ahead.
Go
in the
ahead,
last
Calvin.
couple of years, and I think Joe will attest to this, in the last couple of years at least, I mean, probably even since COVID, I mean, the Cracker Jack series is one of the most renowned series pre-war. I mean, it does, obviously, everybody knows 33 Gaudy, but the Cracker Jack has taken on a life of its own, I think.
So would you say T206, Cracker Jack, and Gotti 1, 2, and 3?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
100%.
Yep.
Interesting.
Without a doubt.
Yep.
Very, very interesting. And obviously the 14 Maddie, the most valuable of the lot, correct?
Correct.
We have one in the upcoming auction, and it is definitely one of the most
Oh,
valuable.
look at Joe's eyes just lit up.
Time out. You got a 14 Maddie?
Yes, we do.
What grade?
It's got your name written all over
It
it. I
doesn't
just
matter
put it to
with
the
grade,
side.
Joe.
I think
2.5.
I think Ted Williams just got pushed to the side.
Joe, it's a 2.5.
It's a 2.5.
It's a beautifully centered 2.5. Yes, it's
Joe,
incredible.
life is short.
No,
Do
that's
both.
that's 150 to 200K.
Easily. Yep.
Yep.
I agree.
Well, Joe, you have it.
No, I don't have
Just-
one anymore.
Let me no,
Just
no,
got-
you have the money. You have the money. Let me tell you something. You know, Joe Tomasulo stays under the radar with his little collection, but he has not a large collection, but he has a very iconic collection. Is that the right description, Joe?
Yeah, like I don't have sets and hundreds, thousands of cards. I collect the 5 original Hall of Famers, Lou Gehrig, Cy Young, and Joe Jackson. Those, I call them my big 8. You can never go
Joe,
wrong.
what is your single most iconic piece that you've ever owned yourself? And you may not own it now, but the one piece, if you had to pick one piece that was your Mona Lisa, what would it be?
My signed Lou Gehrig rookie.
You still have that, don't you? Or did you say
I did. Yes.
the signed Lou Gehrig
That
rookie?
piece is incredible.
Yeah. I mean, there's only 3 known. The other 2 ugly ones, horrible condition. This is a PSA 4 with an 8 signature. And believe me,
Remarkable.
it should be a PSA 5.
How about
It's underrated.
the 2 signed Petroselli cards that both Lou and I have?
You know, Tom, they're moving up, but it may take 4,000 years for them to catch up to the game.
You know, it's funny
I was going to
because
say that those are family heirlooms.
well, let
Yeah.
me tell you something. Was it Heritage? It was either Heritage or Memory Lane that Enrico Petroselli PSA 10 just sold in Summers auction 3 weeks ago. It must have been. It was either Heritage or Memory
Heritage.
Lane for 12 grand. I think it sold for 12 grand.
Really?
Yeah.
Registry collector.
PSA 10.
You
I think
bet.
it was a 1 of 1. It was probably a 1 of 1. I would assume. All right, listen. We're going to take a quick break. We have one more segment. Joe has been gracious enough to bail us out and spend time with his good friend Calvin Arnold from REA, and Lou's in the house. So we're going to take a quick break. We come back. One more segment. We're going to talk a little bit more about some of the stuff that's going on in the hobby. Signed cards, man. Signed cards are really, really exploding. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
I'm Rebecca Curry, a 2-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free, integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectibles Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on their tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest. because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Hey, I'm Mike Petroselli. If your company is looking for the best in marketing and promotional items, you'll hit a home run with Petroselli Marketing. With over 8,000 suppliers and 650,000 imprint-ready items, we can get your company the visibility it needs to get your maximum exposure. Whether it be office promotions, wearables, automotive, sports items, and everything in between, Petroselli Marketing can do it all. Our design staff will even work with you from concept to delivery and customize your products. At Petroselli Marketing Group, we will get your brand in front of your audience. Contact us at info@petrosellimkt.com or call us at 603-880-3202. That's Petroselli Marketing, where no dream is impossible.
Okay, we are back for our last segment. Joe T is in the house. Calvin Arnold from REA. Hey, Lou, by the way, a big IT announcement. Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petroselli bought a new computer this week.
No, really?
Honest to God, he sprung. And he said to me, he texted me, he said, yeah, and I had to also go for an Ethernet cord.
Well, that was a big expense.
That was a big expense. Anyway.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us
next week?
I know. Why don't you tell us about our good friend Tom Finkelmeyer and Finkelmeyer Insurance Company?
Well, Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency has been insuring collectibles since the early 80s. The late Tom Finkelmeyer wrote the original sports memorabilia insurance policy when no one else in the industry was insuring sports collectibles. A lifelong collector of sports cards, Tom Sr. instilled the love of collecting in Tom Jr., the current president of Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency. We just had him on a couple weeks ago.
We did.
Tom Finkelmeyer Jr., with 3 decades of insurance experience, has paired that expertise with 50 years of collecting. With a litany of professional designations, including counseling and risk management, Tom covers every aspect of your collectible insurance needs. Unlike some companies that just sell collectibles insurance directly to the consumer online, Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency is the only independent retail agent who specializes in sports memorabilia and collectibles nationwide. Representing all companies that sell collectibles insurance, there's no agent that insures more collectors, dealers, appraisers, auctioneers, or events in the collectibles hobby than Finkelmeyer Insurance. Our good friend and hobby legend John Tobby of JT Sports has been using Finkelmeyer Insurance for over 20 years. For more information, go to thefia.com, thefia.com. That's Finkelmeyer Insurance, where collecting is our passion.
Hey, I want to ask both you guys. So I heard, or did I read, that Dave Kohler at SCP was able to get the Rojas home run ball and the Smith home run ball from Game 7 of the World Series. I'm just curious, Joe and Calvin, let's talk about the Rojas home run ball first. What is a ball like that going to sell for at auction?
Yeah, I think it's. I think it's very difficult to say what it will sell for. I mean, these home run balls or significant event balls have taken a life of their own. I mean, the reality is that there are a huge base of collectors out there that want something to signify the moment. Like what we had talked about earlier, this game being one of the most spectacular, games in World Series history. Like, I think these balls are going to provide somebody, a collector, somebody that wants to be able to show it off, an opportunity to really own a piece of the game.
Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, piggybacking off what Calvin just said, it defines a specific moment, a specific great moment in baseball history. And there's only one. It's unique. It's one of a kind. Anything like that merits Hall of Fame stature. Anything like that can be displayed in Cooperstown forever. And, as far as value is concerned, I wouldn't even be able to take a stab at it.
So the Rojas ball tied it up. The Smith ball won it. Yep. Which ball would the Smith ball be more valuable though, in terms of, the two iconic baseballs?
I think it definitely holds more significant value just simply because it is the one that ended the series, gave the Dodgers the win, and is going to be remembered. Rojas will be remembered as well because it was a definitely major event that happened in the game. But I think everybody remembers the moment that wins championships for them, So I think that the Smith ball is going to garner more money.
Now, I
agree.
You guys both work for very, very, very reputable auction houses. Very, very good reputations. Dave Kohler, SCP's got a very good reputation. How did Dave Kohler go about getting these two consignments? How do you do something like that? How would you guys handle that? Do you contact an agent? How do you do it?
I'm going to defer to Calvin on that because Calvin actually worked for the man. So Calvin knows Dave as well as anybody.
How did he do that?
I think sometimes it's really just a function of like what you've offered in the past. A lot of people that's not in touch with the hobby or collectibles or, really have an inroad to understanding the hobby or the value of something. They go right to Google. And so if you go to Google, whatever pulls up on a search in Google. So if you've represented home run baseballs before, you might be at the top of the list. So they might that might be a function of how they got in touch with Cole.
All right, so Calvin, was just hypothetically, was Dave contacted by the Rojas family or by the team or by MLB? If you had to venture a guess.
Yeah, I just don't know. They could have any of those are possible. At the end of the day, we know that Kohler dealt with Barry Bonds' home run, tying and record-setting baseballs. That could be a function of it. I think it's like, and I'm sure Joe will agree here. I think it's just being able to have the opportunity to have a seat at the table to try to, get that item. So sometimes, you just don't have the seat at the table. And, look, the hobby is big enough to where, a lot of us are going to take a swing and miss, or we're going to not have the seat at the table, but there's going to be a lot of opportunities where we do have a seat at the table and we're going to be able to get things like that. So I think it's really just comes down to a function of they probably searched whoever it was, the team, the player, an individual, and they looked at the totality of what was done previously at SCP and, probably made a decision based on that. Now, if they would have called us, we would have been better.
Yeah, I want to ask you guys when the hammer is going to come down on this sort of thing, because the Rojas ball was in the team possession, could have easily gone into the stands at this point. If it's 200,000, if it's 300,000, if the two balls are $500,000, when are the players going to get involved and want their piece of it? And when are the teams going to get involved and want? That's significant money at this point. When is the hammer going to come down and people are going to start stopping people fans from selling the ball that they catch?
How can you do that, Lou?
Yeah, I'm probably very opinionated on this. And I think that at the end of the day, when you go to a baseball game, I don't think the player has, the right to that item that goes into the stands. Are they going to request every single foul ball that comes back? So just because it's significant and it's going to garner money, a lot of money, I'm not sure. I think that the players and the teams have gotten more involved in terms of trying to secure that item back. Although, with all due respect, I think the teams and the players
ball is
have
not
to
going to do it though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was just going to say, with all due with all due respect, they have to step up to the plate. They have to understand that there is value with these pieces in the open market. And if the players want it back or the team wants it back, they have to be able to come to the table with something that's meaningful.
Yeah.
Yes.
At some point, that's got to be worked out. I mean, it's easy for them to hologram the balls or mark the balls because you're going to authenticate the balls anyway. So that's definitely going to be property of the leagues and the teams or the players or however they want to divide it up. At some point, when the ball's worth $200,000 or $300,000 or $500,000, they're going to work out an arrangement with these people, aren't they?
They're going to work out an arrangement. But, Lou, the way I look at it is, and, you know, I don't know if you're going to agree, these guys are making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Millions. A ball like that, let's say $250,000, that can change a low to middle class person's life forever.
I agree with you.
Right. Good point. And they're catching the ball. It's their property, you know, assuming they're not ripping it out of somebody else's hands.
Yeah.
You know, and they have the right to do whatever they want with the baseball.
I agree with you. Will Smith's got a lot of money.
There shouldn't be any ill will. There shouldn't be any ill feelings, which, you know, it's funny. My wife, Marianne, we were watching the news the other day.
Who makes great broccoli Robbie, by the way.
Yeah, courtesy of Tom. Anyway, his recipe. But she noticed, she saw on the news that those two pitchers gambled on baseball.
Right.
Whatever, their names escape me right now.
Class and
And
I forget the other guy.
she made a point. Don't they make enough money? Do they have to risk putting a dark spot on the game to make more money? How greedy can they be? And this is a concern of mine because it's starting to happen. It was basketball. You know what's going on in football.
Yep.
Okay? If I see one more flag come down in a game, and now baseball, this scares me. Where is this going to lead professional sports?
Louis, you're the guy that can answer that question because you do it for a living. I'm not saying you cheat for a living or anything like that, but you're dealing every day with, I mean, you can see it firsthand with what you do at DraftKings, right? I mean, isn't there...
Well,
I mean,
Major League Baseball took the first step. They're limiting prop bets. And I think at a certain point, the betting houses, you know, DraftKings I work for, and, you know, all the other FanDuel and all these guys are going to have to really give a second thought to prop bets because that's where all the corruption is coming in.
So it's the prop bets.
I think that's a huge part of it, and it has to be controlled at this point. What I'm hoping, Joe, with the Klaas issue, because Klaas was due for $38 million by the time he got through with his first contract at this point. And it was supposedly a really small amount. What I don't hope that they were threatening his family, but I'm hoping he wasn't doing it for money. He was doing it for a safety reason or whatever was being leveraged into it. I'm hoping that's what the outcome is. I don't know it to be true, but that's what I'm hoping. Because to risk $12,000 for the $38 million he had coming seems stupid.
Crazy.
It hurts the integrity of the game.
Oh, God,
it really does.
All right, listen, the Northeast Sports Card Expo hits the Boston area on Saturday, November 22nd and Sunday, November 23rd at the Marriott Boston Quincy in Quincy, Massachusetts. Beautiful Quincy, named after John Adams and John Quincy Adams.
Yes.
Spanning 26,000, you didn't know I knew that, did you, Joe? Spanning 26,000 square feet of expo space and featuring 180 vendor tables. This is New England's biggest card show, packed with sports cards, memorabilia, Pokemon toys, and Funkos, whatever a Funko is. It's a weekend for collectors, fans, and families alike. Celebrity autograph guests, many offering free autographs with paid admission. Former Boston Bruins player Graham Townsend, Paralympian Joe Howard, Sophia Joranitz of Nesson, NHL Network and Nesson analyst Bill Jaffe, Tim Fox from the Pats, pro wrestlers Anthony Green and Chase Stevens, Pokemon voice actor Barrett Letty, and former Boston Bruin Bruce Shoebottom. Do we know him, Lou?
Yeah, Bruce Shooter. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bonus highlights: free raffle entries with every admission, win signed jerseys, photos, and more. Free commemorative posters for the first 200 attendees each day, designed by Richie Pellegrino, good artist. Mascot appearances from the New England Patriots, on-site authentication by JSA, and much, much more. Get your tickets now at northeastcardexpo.com, northeastcardexpo.com, November 22nd, 23rd at the Marriott, Boston, Quincy. Pretty cool show. They're a little different. They're a little different than the standard Philly show and whatever. All right, listen, we're just about out of time. Calvin, as always, man, we love REA. You guys do a great job. You guys, I don't know if you know this, Calvin, but you know that you guys have been with the Great American Collectible Show since day one, 10 years. And we greatly appreciate it. Brian's been really good to us. He's a good friend. And Thomas Sewell has been with us for 10 years with two different organizations, but he's been with us for 10 years and 10 great years. Joe, I'm going to end this by saying, do not leave. I'm going to call you as soon as the show is over so I can read that to you. If you don't pick up, I'm going to get in my car. I'm going to drive to Connecticut. I'm going to beat you with a baseball bat.
I'll make you a deal. I will pick up after Calvin sends me front and back scans of the 14 Matheson.
Fair enough, Calvin, right?
I will send front and back scans of the Matheson as soon as Tom wires me some money.
Okay, but hold on now, Calvin. And what is the other feature item that the Great American Collectibles is featuring in this phenomenal auction? The 1954 PSA 8 Yogi Berra, and the very Type 1 photo that goes with it. That goes with that card.
This is Calvin. If that's what Tom is not aware of. And it happened, I think it happened about a half hour ago because I got a text. They just found in Boise, Idaho, a box with 500 Type 1 photos of that 54 bag. Tom, I'm sorry.
Well, I'll tell you what, just because it's so important to Tom, I want everybody to know that in order for you to buy that card and that incredible one-of-a-kind photo, you're going to go to collectrea.com. The auction's going to open up November 21st. It's going to close December 7th. We have over 3,200 incredible lots that you can bid on, but most importantly, the 54 Yogi Berra.
Well, you know what happened? Ellen sent Brian a nice fruit basket, and asked him to put it as the number one lot, but for some reason he said no. Can't understand.
You know what? I think we're getting it authenticated. It didn't come back from authentication in time.
Is that what it is? All right, listen,
Calvin, Type 8.
Type 8.
All right, listen, we're just about out of time. Thank you guys so much for coming on. You know, we do a lot
appreciate
of teasing.
You guys.
We do a lot of teasing. And Joe, thanks, seriously, all kidding aside, thanks for jumping in. Calvin, we love you guys. You guys do a great job. Don't forget to get into that auction the week after next, correct?
November 21st, it opens up.
Yeah. And Golden Auction, always, and you gotta watch Ken Golden in what the hell's the name of that show, Joe?
Netflix.
No, on Netflix. The Collectibles King.
Season 3 coming up.
Season 3, the Collectibles King, Ken Golden. Ellen and I watched one episode, and the T206 book, Louis, was mentioned in that episode.
Oh boy, I get to check this
By
out.
the way, some big surprises coming up on.
Oh, I heard through the grapevine. Ellen told me about. No, I'm only kidding. All right, listen. With that being said, we love you guys. Happy collecting.
Thanks for having us.
Have a good day, guys.
Take care.